So Fury came out down here last week, and I went to see it because it's been a long time since I saw a World War II movie, and it is exactly what I expected from one. There was a lot of gray colors, a lot of mud, a lot of soldiers, well, basically dying and being killed. But the reason I went to see the movie was because it is about a tank, especially specifically one Sherman tank and the crew. But the reason I went to see it is not because of the characters, but because of the tank. Now, I cannot remember the last time that I saw a tank battle portrayed in World War II properly. And I can't even remember the last time we saw American tanks fighting German tanks in a battlefield. And that is the reason why I went to see it. And in that concern, the movie was awesome because I got two great battles. One where they're fighting anti-tank guns, and the other where we finally get to see a Tiger tank versus the Sherman small platoon tanks. And it was absolutely excellent for me to watch it because I always wanted to see how it would look like, how dominant the German tanks were over the Americans near the middle of the war. And I was absolutely loving those scenes. Now, the character development scenes where there's no military and they're just sitting in a town they just took over, I could have gone without it. There's a little character development there. It's really not something I'm particularly fond of. It wasn't particularly good either. Although it did show that American soldiers weren't all saints, and they weren't all perfect. They did falter mentally and morally. It also shows that not all Germans were evil. Not all German soldiers were part of the Reich willingly, and some were forced and all that. And in terms of action, it basically all is, well, there are a couple of parts that I'm just like, really? I don't think that part was necessary. One near the beginning. They're both near the beginning. Actually, it's just okay, it's feasible, but not really necessary. But yeah, in terms of action, it was okay. Could have used a little bit more action. And in terms of characters, they don't really get much development, honestly. They do portray a lot of, races or racial diversity within the army, which I think is good because not everybody was white. Now that I think about it, I didn't see a single African American in that movie. But anyway, it's decent enough as a war movie. It's not outstanding. It's not over-dramatized either, although it is a little bit near the end because it's one versus many. That's what the trailer tells you. And that last stand they have is a little over-exaggerated, but it's enjoyable because we finally get to see a Sherman pull all the stops and shoot everything it's got and run out of ammo. That is absolutely worth it. So yeah, as an action movie, it's okay. As a character movie, it's a little flat, not much of development. But if you've been hoping to see tanks fight other tanks, it is satisfying in that sense. So if you want to see a German tank move around and fire everything it's got, it is absolutely worth going to watch this movie. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.